In this video, we'll be taking a look at a bunch of upcoming open world games to get excited for in 2025. These are the types of game that you can pour hours upon hours of your time into, getting lost in their immersive setting, action-packed gameplay, and meaningful stories. When it comes to gaming, it's hard to beat a great open world game. Ahoy folks, Crayo Pure Xbox here with a look at the best upcoming open world games coming to Xbox in 2025. Okay, straight to the point, Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto 6 is undeniably the most anticipated game of 2025, even with the rumors of a potential 2026 delay swirling around. So far, we've only seen that one trailer, but we've already met the dual protagonist, Lucia, and that other unnamed chappie. We're heading back to the immersive world of Vice City, with its golden beaches, vibrant nightclubs, and swampy bayous. And of course, expect plenty of high-speed thrills, crocodiles, butts, and hammer-wielding Karens to interact with as you please. You know, the usual rigmarole of criminal tomfoolery this open-world series is famous for. I'm pretty sure we'll all be obsessing over GTA 6 for the next decade at least, so here's hoping it doesn't slip into the next year. Rise, you filthy tarnished, because it looks like From Software isn't done with you just yet. The critically acclaimed open-world action RPG is getting a standalone multiplayer entry this year in the form of Elden Ring Nightreign. Instead of the usual, you died, get ready for we died, together as a trio, because this time the classic Elden Ring goodness will be playable in 3-player co-op. Nightreign is giving me serious Battle Royale extraction zone vibes, kinda like Hunt Showdown. Whilst I'm not sure how multiple teams would work in this setting, I'm betting it's still a race to defeat the Night Lord boss at the heart of each game session. Laugh all you want, but I can already picture a big blue fiery ring closing in and hearing, "Where are we dropping, boys?" echoing in my head. Although there's no sign of an Elden Ring themed battle bus yet, so who knows? All I know is that I'm excited and I'll need to make at least 2 friends before it launches, so wish me luck. When you trade your pink slips for fantasy action, as the racing team at Playground Games has done, the project is bound to have some eyeballs on it questioning what the developers can pull off. This fresh start for Fable is looking pretty snazzy, if you ask Big Richard over here, also known as Dave the Giant from the Fable trailers. Fable was a massive hit in the noughties, with a trilogy of solid games, some better than others, but all in all, a great fantasy epic. It seems like we'll be crafting another customizable hero once again, wielding swords, casting magic, and dealing with mythical creatures, including Big D from the old Fables. Chances are it'll be running on the Forza engine, so we can at least expect some absolutely gorgeous visuals to go along with the adventure. I'm cautiously optimistic, I am. It seems one very lengthy game about revenge isn't quite enough for our 15th century protagonist, Mr. Henry. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, the sequel to Warhorse Studios' 2018 adventure, continues the story of our parentless peasant turned noble liege lord. If it's anything like the first game, we can expect a rich dose of historical accuracy, a challenging combat system, and the kind of social interactions that'll test our conversational skills, with branching dialogues that'll shape Henry's future. There's no mythical creatures in this series, just a classic villain in the form of a ruthless lord that Henry must bring to justice. And the best part, it's not far off. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 launches on February 4th. Our next open world adventure comes from Obsidian Entertainment, one of the best in the business. Avowed is another big fantasy epic scheduled for 2025, and in our opinion, if Xbox wants to reignite some fervor within the gaming community, this is the game to do it with. Unlike our previous entry, Avowed is packed with mythos and magic. You'll be casting spells, wielding blades, and even blasting foes with a magical blunderbuss. Character classes aren't a focus here. Instead, the game plays more like Skyrim, similar to its perk constellations, acting as skill trees that allow you to shape the hero the way you want them to become. The game is set in Eora or Aurora? I don't know. It's a world familiar to those who have played Pillars of Eternity, Obsidian's other game. Rumor has it that Avowed won't feature one massive open world map, but instead smaller, more focused areas to explore. Oh, and it's another early release launching on February 18th. Oh, what a busy month. February is shaped to be packed, with Monster Hunter Wilds joining Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Avowed on the release calendar. Capcom's next beastly murder spree takes place in the Forbidden Lands, a sprawling region of sandy desert dunes and lush forests, offering plenty of large monster boys for you and your friends to track, trap, capture, and/or kill. You know, the usual. Monster Hunter Wilds aims to make hunts a bit more unpredictable this time, with features like a dynamic weather system that introduces challenges such as sandstorms. If Capcom can address some of the public's performance concerns with the public beta that was out not that long ago, we can easily see ourselves teaming up with our friends to explore Monster Hunter's biggest map to date for quite a while. With over 20 new monsters to hunt and plenty of mouth-watering meals to savor, Monster Hunter Wilds is looking to promise a feast for fans. If you're keen, best mark your calendars for February 28th. We'll admit details on Borderlands 4 are pretty scarce beyond the trailer revealed at the recent Game Awards. But whether you're a fan of Gearbox's open-world looter shooter or not, it seems the fourth entry is sticking closely to its tried and true formula. One notable change, however, is a shift away from the familiar wastes of Pandora. Gearbox has confirmed that Borderlands 4 will take place on a new planet, which, let's be honest, is probably a smart move, because Pandora fatigue is real. At least for me it is. Character classes are back with 4 new Vault Hunters to choose from, so you can expect the usual mix of a magic wielder, a gun-toting soldier type, and the classic blend of bullet sponge and support mechanics. You know, the usual. Whilst Borderlands 4 doesn't have a firm release date for 2025 yet, we do know that it's leaving Xbox One and PS4 consoles behind. Something worth keeping in mind if you're still on that previous generation. Obsidian is cooking with gas this year. Whoa! Not only is Avowed dropping in February, but The Outer Worlds 2 is also slated for a 2025 release. Whether you're a fan of the fantasy or partial to a good sci-fi, Obsidian is making sure that gamers have plenty to sink their teeth into this year. In this sequel, you'll venture to a brand new star system with a fresh crew, though the game retains that signature Outer Worlds corporate humor at its core. The first Outer Worlds took roughly 12 to 15 hours to complete, so the promise of a sequel that's twice as big means there'll be no shortage of planets to explore, stories to dive into, and alien baddies to blast. Next up is Mafia The Old Country, and if it's even half as cool as the trailer suggests, don't expect to see me outside touching much grass this summer. Set as a prequel to the original Mafia trilogy, the game takes us back to the Sicilian countryside. All the rich Mafia flavors that we've come to love over the years are looking better than ever, with Hangar 13 aiming to craft a more linear open-world origin story, in contrast to the looser gameplay of Mafia 3. From the trailer, it seems we'll step into the shoes of a new initiate with something to prove, and we're honestly buzzing for this one. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Who is ready to trigger the megalohydrothalassiophobia with me in 2025? Megalohydrothalassiophobia is just a big word for the fear of bigger things lurking down in the depths, by the way. But yes, Subnautica 2 is on the horizon, bringing back that deep, open sea world that has been terrifying players for the past decade. If you're unfamiliar, it's a survival game at its core. Whether you play with friends or are brave enough to go it alone, then you'll dive into the habitual crafting, scavenging, and exploration that define the series. Build vehicles, tools, and sprawling deep-sea bases as you descend into the depths of a mysterious new alien planet. RGG Studios have a knack for regularly delivering quality RPGs, and 2025 is no exception as we head back to Hawaii. Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii looks every bit as bonkers as its title suggests. But believe it or not, it could have been even weirder. Originally, the game began development as Like a Dragon Tuna, where Kazuma Kiryu, working as a tuna fisherman, squared off in fisticuffs with rival fishermen. It's just a fun tidbit for you there. But anyway, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii serves as a spin-off to Infinite Wealth, this time placing us in the boots of Goro Majima, a mighty pirate with amnesia, exploring a Hawaiian playground both on land and at sea. As more of a side quest adventure to Infinite Wealth, this game clocks in at roughly 15 to 20 hours. Seriously though, how are we going to fit all of these February releases into our schedules? I just don't see it happening. Originally slated as DLC for Dying Light 2, our next entry, Dying Light the Beast, has since grown into a full standalone title. Techland, known for their generosity with DLC content, decided that with the Beast clocking in at around 18 hours to complete, it had the legs to stand tall as a beastly game on its own. This time, we'll be lacing up the running shoes of the original protagonist, Kyle Crane, diving into another parkour-filled, zombie-infested dystopia. It's been over a decade since we last saw Kyle, and now, boosted with zombie DNA, he's on a mission for revenge against his captors. This time, the open-world setting is Castor Woods, a post-apocalyptic tourist hotspot brimming with enough zombies to keep us happy for a good while. I am all for tapping into nostalgia, especially after recently completing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And what cooler franchise to take on an open-world adventure than Jurassic Park Survival? This game takes place on the iconic island from the 1993 Jurassic Park film. Set directly after the events of the movie, we'll play as an InGen scientist, Dr. Maya Joshi, or Yoshi, I'm not sure. From the trailer, it's giving off Alien Isolation vibes, but with dinosaur and a bit more freedom to roam around. Saber Interactive have a solid track record when it comes to creating breathtaking worlds, so if everything falls into place, then Jurassic World Survival could be a real banger. Since the early days of Assassin's Creed, we've all been dreaming of the series taking its murderous ways to feudal Japan, and finally we're getting our wish with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Listen, Ubisoft has seen better days, but we're genuinely hyped for Shadows. With their recent decision to delay the game from November to, yeah, you guessed it, busy February, we're hopeful it'll launch as a much more polished and complete game. At least that's the plan. Assassin's Creed Shadows will be set during the Azuchi Momoyama era, with a map roughly the same scale as Assassin's Creed Origins. We'll be playing as Yasuke and Naoe, two very different protagonists, the former a powerful samurai and the latter a stealthy shinobi, leading to very different methods of traversal across Japan. We've got high hopes for this one, so fingers crossed it all pays off. And finally, from Hello Games, the ambitious creators of the most open of open world games, comes Light No Fire. Trading in the infinite stars and planets of No Man's Sky, Light No Fire will feature just one planet. One gigantic Earth-sized planet. Literally. Hello Games doesn't do things by halves, do they? Technically, this multiplayer fantasy planet should be able to accommodate every single human being on Earth, and if that's true, it's absolutely bonkers to think about. As for gameplay, well, it'll simply be one of those giant survival sandboxes to roleplay in. We don't have a solid release window for Light No Fire just yet, but we do know that the title has been in active development for at least 5 years already. With all the lessons learned and procedural tech gained from No Man's Sky, we might just see Light No Fire sooner rather than later. Well, there's a selection of some eagerly anticipated open world games we're looking forward to in 2025. Which one tickled your fancy? And have you booked time off work in February yet? Busy month. Let us know in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching, and all that's left to say is bye-bye for now. Cheerio!